Audio Jungle.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not still gonna go through his stats and stuff. All I want to know is, firstly, why are you wearing a Patriots hat?
Because I'm a patriot of Dubai.
Oh, I know you. Yeah, you.
No, I got actually, Joey, I got given this as a gift, man. By one of my classmates. He lives in New England, so he came over to the classes. He's an English guy, and he got me this. So it's coming in handy here in Cape Town in the winter. So it's quite nice.
Your teammates or your classmates or your teammates that you played county cricket for?
No, I'm studying also, Joey. So it's so
Cake for you, a proper Galvindale.
you must educate yourself, man.
So it's been ladies and gentlemen, it's been a struggle to get Robbie P because he's always been busy. So now I know why, because he's been studying as well. First question. So you went to Galvindale Primary School, right? And I think you're one of the first colored boys that I knew that went to a Model C school back in the day. So tell me how, because just to put it in perspective for you, there's so many people that comes from Galvindale that is so successful, and I am trying to find out what is in that water, what is in that streets there in Galvindale where you guys grew up. So firstly, you went to Galvindale Primary. Tell us about that.
No, it was an exceptional school. I was just lucky that we had some good people in sport, teachers, man. You know, when you firstly growing up there was just, I loved every minute of it. I mean, since I've actually had the opportunity to go back to Port Elizabeth, you know, I sort of walked around where I grew up again. You know, St. Adams Drive, which is, I lived across the road from the school. So it was nice to bump into my neighbors when growing up, and actually went into the people's house where, you know, where I grew up, and they actually allowed me to come in and have a look at it. And, you know, it just so happens that that girl, by the way, that one of the daughters, she plays in the band at St. George's Park. So it was like, so it was an interesting story, you know, that bit of it. But no, it was great. You know, growing up in Galvindale, all I remember is playing sports every day. You know, whether it was cricket, football, people doing 100-meter sprints in St. Adams Drive, Wimbledon, tennis season, Wimbledon. So I remember you guys had Denzel Dolly on. I think Denzel and Dolly and I used to go to school at 7 o'clock in the morning and put the tennis net up and play tennis, you know, before school starts at 8 o'clock. So, you know, that was the life there. And I think the thing about Galvindale and all the sportsmen is, if you think about it, you've got the track there, you've got the swimming pool, you've got all those fields, the AstroTurf, the hockey. It's just a community where sports is just being played all the time. You know, everyone goes to the field, so whether they play football, hockey, cricket, tennis. So I think it's just a sporting mentality there, you know, growing up.
So your choice, so yeah, that's a great observation there. So it still boiled down to your choice. I always say it's like in Galvindale, all the guys that I know from there, they like have reverse peer pressure. They like call you out if you make cock, basically. They like have this, it's like they have this calling out culture already. Do you want to take that call, Robbie P?
No. It's actually Garnet Kruger trying to get hold of me. You can tell he's calling me.
Trying to find out if we are on the thing. You mentioned Denzel Dolly. For people that might not know,
I love those sports. You know, I love those sports, man. I mean, yeah, why did I choose cricket? I just thought that at the time the game was going professional a little bit more. hockey was obviously very amateur, and we had to fork out of our own pockets to go on tour. And you know, my parents, we coming from a middle class family. You know, it's a lot of money to try and send your son to tours, and you know, it became quite expensive. So cricket was just more natural progression where, you know, there's a lot more money in the game to sort of, you don't have to fork out to go on tours. When you play, come through the age groups, it's all pretty set up and structured. So I guess that's why I ended up playing cricket. I always tell people I was an accidental professional cricketer. It's not something I had dreams of being, you know, but who knows where you end up in life, you know, when you make some choices. You know, it's been a great ride. I had a career of 20 years. So, and I'm thankful to all the, you know, all the little moments in my life that sort of led to that point, especially growing up in Galvindale. I think that was probably the biggest thing, you know, in my development as a player, because you're playing with people that are older than you in the state. You're getting that, you're training with the senior team. And although you were junior, you know, that club cricket structure, you know, it's not that prevalent anymore in South Africa. So, you know, that did help our development, you know, as players, whether you were football, whatever sport it was in Galvin.
So yeah, it's a good point you make. This, I just want to put something in perspective, guys. Being a middle class family during the early 90s and 2000 doesn't mean you're rich. Doesn't even mean you're middle class. You're just better off than the guy down the street. It doesn't mean you're rich. Doesn't mean you're just a little better off. You can at least maybe have Kentucky Fried Chicken once a week. So it's all relative. And that's the other thing that I like about most guys that comes from Galvindale is like, you guys are very proud of where you come from. You're very there's this pride inside you that always comes out. It's like you never feel sorry for yourself. That's the thing. You never feel sorry for yourself. So you were speaking about all the sports fields. And did you play Banga cricket firstly? Banga yard cricket?
I think I play every cricket, brother. See, everything. You know what we used to do? I remember growing up and guys putting on tournaments together. You know, like a whole lot of different teams playing in the park and whatever, and then you're playing like a knockout comp. There wasn't like any structured cricket. That was, I mean, you see the people in India now. They talk about, they even go do documentaries on the Maidans in Mumbai. You know, I don't know if you saw the thing on Sky Sports, but I mean, that was like it was in Galvindale. You know, wherever you could find a space, guys were playing some sort of sport. You know, in summer it was cricket.
Thank you for bringing that up. That is my goal, basically. That is my goal, to show the world. I don't think, I've done some research, and the only other place in terms of square kilometer that produced people that represented their country is like a place in Kingston, Jamaica. A small, like a place that can compare to Galvindale in terms of how many people they produced in different sports: hockey, cricket, soccer, rugby. So the only other place is in Jamaica, where Usain Bolt and Shelly Ann Fraser and Johan Blake and Asafa Powell come from. Did you go to that place?
Well, I mean, I've been to Kingston, man. You know, I suppose where you're talking about is, I mean, Jamaica, that where the stadium is, also same thing as Galvindale. A lot of sports fields. Again, you know, so it's and probably everyone congregates there. And I mean, nothing is too far in Jamaica. We're talking about an island, but it is the biggest island in the Caribbean. You know, but also again, you know, culture of sport. You know, culture of being outside. You know, Bob Marley playing football, big football lovers in Jamaica. You know, cricket, every sport, athletics. So, and actually, the athletics was a big thing, you know, in Galvindale growing up. You know, the track and the different school, inter school. So, I guess it's not too dissimilar. I'm not surprised you're saying a place in Jamaica was like this.
So I'm hoping to get Leroy Newton on as well. I'm still trying to track him down. For those of you that don't know, he's also from Galvindale, and he represented South Africa at the Olympics in triple jump and stuff like that. So coming back to the Jamaican thing and coming back to the sports field, it's nice to know, because in other interviews, it didn't come across like that. So for me, that didn't grow up in Galvindale. They just know Galvindale. So there was lots of sports fields and lots of things to do. But ultimately, it was still a choice. Ultimately, it was still your choice as to do it or not. Here's the thing. What made you choose that constantly or consistently?
I think also, yeah, I think we didn't have as many distractions, and there was no cell phones or all these games that the kids, you know what I'm saying. I think that's probably one of the biggest things. That why do you do it? You entertain yourself. You have to get creative, and sports is an outlet. So I think that's also probably one of the main contributing factors why we. I mean, you come from school. All I remember every whatever day it was is kids streaming down, walking to the fields. The lights on, football training, hockey at the back, guys playing tennis, So, I mean, yeah, it is a choice, but I think we also had committed teachers at school. The teachers were like very important in our, in our lives. Not only teaching us in the class, but teaching us like how to play sports and teamwork and all these other things. So, I guess committed teachers, not a lot of distractions. What do you do as kids? You play sports because that's what your friends did.
So it's fine to have committed teachers, but it's also, it's a type of example. It's a type of example that those teachers because have, like, I don't want to speak bad about the teaching industry. That's like teachers and nurses and doctors needs to get paid lots of money. But I don't know if it applies to you, but there was this respect and morals that you've learned from these teachers. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, there was definitely. I mean, that's it. I mean, that's the basis of any community that that any country, in fact, that goes on to achieve anything is discipline and how you behave. So I mean, that's what we were. And so you know what? I'm getting into the coaching space. And so it's not that the kids are
wait,
any differently now, man.
Huh? Wait, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Why are you preempting stuff? We're gonna get there.
I don't know. Because altijd voor me waar.
Yeah, man. So I want to know. So what you're saying is the foundation was set, right? The foundation was set. Then you left Galvindale Primary. Then you went to a Model C school. What was that like?
I mean, I didn't think of it any different. It's just like going to school, really. It's quite interesting now with all this Black Lives Matter things. I mean, I never saw myself as any different from the other kids. I don't know. It might seem like an odd thing to say, but it was just like going to school. I mean, I went to a great primary school in Galvindale Primary. Fantastic teachers. I could not ask for better grounding in education. It actually set me up to go to these Model C schools, if anything. A lot of people, on both fronts, what I had was committed teachers. I mean, same thing. So, another teacher, when I went there, hockey, cricket, also supported me the same way the teacher supported me at Galvin. So
okay, so here's the thing, right? So I think, just an observation, I think you were oblivious to the tensions that was at the Model C school. I think you were oblivious because of the background and the crowding and the foundation that you had coming from where you came from. Because if you didn't believe in yourself and if you didn't have the discipline that you had, you wouldn't have made it there. I'm telling you.
Yeah, probably. I mean, to be honest, like if you think about my parents and my dad and my mom and them and even my family, we were never told we were any worse than anyone. You know what I mean? We were always taught, no, you go back yourself, you go do what you want to do. And that's what we did, it's just going, you just, you're not here, you were an equal here, it's not, we were never taught that that's better or this is better. In fact, I probably was better off growing up in Galvindale than a lot of other kids, that I went to school with, that taught you toughen up, teamwork, all those other things, that stands you in good stead for the rest of your life.
So, for the people that don't know, you and Denzel are still good friends up until today.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah,
I think everyone from Galvindale, even Joey, everyone from Galvindale is good friends. Even if you don't see them for 15 years, if you go back there to the, back to the hood, it's, I mean, it's like you've never, it's like you never left. I still go in. Like, I mean, I remember the people across, like my neighbors across the road. Andrew Cock is another one you might want to get on the show. He's EP Athletics coach. Ran EP Athletics and all of that. So they were across the road from us as neighbors. I mean, I went back there, invited me into the house, go see Oom Willem. Haven't seen Oom Willem in 30 years probably. Oom Willem still the same, still talking about my brother breaking his windows playing cricket. And you know what I mean? The stories don't change. It's, you always remain friends with people in sport there.
So the community as been established has been quite close knit. Did you play for Galvindale Cricket Club?
Yeah, I played for Galvindale. I started out playing for Galvindale, and then what happened was I played for them while I was still at primary school, because I mean everyone did. Claude Simon, who was actually he was instrumental in probably anyone that was a cricketer from Galvindale. Claude Simon, everyone will have a story on Claude Simon. So Claude Simon is in some way related to my mother, I think, or whatever. And my mother was trying to get me into cricket, and who did you go to? You go to Claude Simon, like most kids in Galvin. And yeah, and so it happened. I just ended up playing for Galvindale Cricket Club, as most young players do. But as you go to, like you say, Model C school, I went to Alexander Road High. You start playing sports on a Saturday, and your weeks are filled up with sports on the weekend. So you end up sort of playing with the school a lot more than you do with your club. And just so as the years go on, you migrate away. But I played again like for a couple of years after. But a fantastic club, I have to say. When I went back there this year, during just after the cricket season, or last year for my birthday, and just to look at how they run. They don't have a lot of money, very modest, but in humility, there's a lot of, it breeds a lot of good things, and I mean, the way they run the club, the facilities, the field, obviously they can do with a lot more help, but I mean, it was a pretty well-run club. Yes, they might not have the whatever you want to call it, these old Eds or Cape Town Cricket or Western Province Cricket Club, what access to what all these other clubs have. But the fundamentals are still the same there, It would be nice if, they can get a few more sponsors to help them grow their facilities. But hopefully in time, people will see the value of that whole facility and what it's done for South African sport.
And that is like one of my main goals, to show the world that what you just spoke about, and specifically Mr. Simon. Because we've seen all these Netflix documentaries, we've seen the India cricket and stuff, but there's this, like you mentioned Mr. Simon, and you mentioned the teachers. What other role besides Mr. Simon? Because every single person I spoke to had a story or had something to say about Mr. Simon. Yours was, your mother was related to Mr. Simon. That's what
well, I don't know how they related, but somewhere along the line, there's some connection there, I remember.
Right. So now, so moving after school, what happened after that? Well, firstly, before we get there, you are now coaching, right? And you, in your first season, you've done really well in your first season.
Thanks.
Like, no, I'm serious though. And Ashwell Prince also, he's also a coach. And the one thing that you guys have in common, and you might not even know it, it's just me observing it, is that you always are really good at motivating the next person, and you have this humility, yet the confidence in yourself. So certain people might see that as arrogance, but I don't see that as arrogance. I, for one, is like, yeah, I wish I could be like those guys. Maybe I could have been a sportsman. I'm this vulnerable, trying to be vulnerable, trying to be a clown type vibe. So How does that help you in your coaching right now? And where do you see the team going?
Yeah, I think it must be very clear that I'm still a new coach. You know, I've been very fortunate to get quite a few experiences. You know, I coached in the Caribbean Premier League in the West Indies, 2 different islands. I've played there, so I've had a lot of experience. T10 in Dubai. Um, I worked with the under-19s. So, I mean, it's very difficult to say what type of coach you are or how that helps you, but all little experiences help you. At the end of the day, as a coach, Joey, you're just there to try and assist the player to fulfill whatever he's trying to do. You know, it's not about me to try and win it or say I've won 10 trophies as Jose Mourinho, the special one or whatever. He loves to, you know. I think coaching is more about the satisfaction I get is if I see a young player progress through the system and you've created a nice environment for him to learn quickly. You know, not only to learn quickly, to know what's expected if he moves up the ranks in mentality and how you have to behave. Then you know, then you're starting to make strides a little bit. So I wouldn't, yeah. I don't know what the question was again, but
No,
I just think that
you've answered sort of what I was looking for. You said that for him to know what is expected of him when he goes through the ranks. Now, all the guys in Galvandale, whether they know it or not, it's a subconscious thing. They knew exactly what was expected of them and how to behave in those situations. That is what I am trying to figure out. That is my whole purpose of trying to interview everybody from Galvandale, because I can't put the finger on it, and I am going to by the end of the series.
I think, Joe, if you look at everything of the Eastern Cape, I mean, it's all, I mean, I've been doing the same thing as you've been doing. I mean, you try to figure out. I mean, the one thing all the people from the Eastern Cape have is they probably come from a hard-working background. You have to be humble. No one's allowed to get ahead of themselves. You know, yeah, it must be a confidence that you have to have. You know, but you respect that. You know, you're only playing sport. It's not really that important, but it's nice to represent a community. You know, so I think if you look at the history of the Eastern Cape, I mean, from the Nelson Mandelas, they're all from there. You know, so Mandelas to Steve Biko's to, you know, if we go on and on and on, there's basically people that stood up for something and were resilient and humble in a way they did things. So I guess it's inherent in just the way you brought up in the Eastern Cape. You're not allowed to get, I mean, you know, you're not allowed to put yourself on a pedestal, but people from there may want to put you on a pedestal. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. But you're never allowed to put yourself up there.
No, and that's a great thing. That's like the opposite.
Sia Khaleesi, another one. Rassie Rasmus, I mean, another one. Even though he might not be from Galvin, but dispatched, so up the road. So, you know, there's a lot. Alistair could say, Springbok coach. So there are plenty, there's plenty of people, man.
I spoke to
Russell Domingo, another one, you know. There are lots of guys, man, you know.
I'm going to speak to Alistair Coetzee, hopefully.
Yeah.
And I spoke to...
he was my cricket coach, by the way.
Alistair Coetzee?
Alistair Coetzee, when he was a teacher at Galvin Park, I went to Galvin Primary, so they used to like have like regional teams that they used to like pick between the schools, and you play against a regional team in the other area. So Tutti took charge of our team, and he was our coach. It wasn't for a long period, but it was like he was in charge of a team.
Wow. Yeah. Good to hear. Right. So now you said you coached in 2 islands in the West Indies. Yeah, I know you love that place. Would you ever go stay?
I don't know about stay there, but I just love the way the people play the game, and it seems like, you know, in the wood, that's how we love playing the game. You know, we gravitate to that type of philosophy. Enjoy your life. yet you play the game with flair and you play it hard and all those things, Joey, man. So I think it resonates with a lot of us, like, to go there, because it's almost like, yeah, this is like the way we grew up playing, man. You play your shots, you whatever. And then we get to the Model C schools, like you said, then we must play defensive cricket.
Play straight, play straight, play straight. What is that across the line? What helicopter shot is that? That's,
you know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We need to bring it out in the players a little bit more, I think.
Man, there was a game where he hit a 6 to win the game for us. And I won lots of money. Not that vibes, not the Gulambodian, but I mean, like, amongst myself, amongst my my friends. So after you where did you start playing professional cricket? Because I know you were like with Ashel Prince and Garnet Kruger and Bashir Walters and them. I think they were still younger than you. But that crew, yeah, did you ever play with Dean Baptiste? That was also before your time. I'm just thinking of the guys that was in your team when you made your Eastern Province debut.
Yeah, I think I mean, Ashwell played, but I think he had just moved to Cape Town when I came in. So he like just moved on to Cape Town. Garnet and I like played together a lot. Garnet Kruger. I mean, it's a shame that guy never got a lot more cricket for South Africa, but you know, who knows? Maybe this is part of his journey now. When he looks back, and it'll all make sense why that was so difficult for him. You know, you never know where you end up.
Like there is certain things that people would say, oh yeah, but there was other bowlers that was fast, there was other bowlers and this. I'm gonna be straight up. If he was white, you would have been in a team. I don't care if people say I'm not I'm controversial. I swear.
You know, at the end of the day, Joey, if you by then when we came through the system, if you were anything outside of the picture they thought of what the South African cricketer should be, it will always be difficult for you. You know what I mean? And he probably fell prey to that type of thinking, which is totally ridiculous in my opinion. But it's just the way it was back then, you know?
Unfair. He was up against Nanti Ayud and Makai Antini. Granted, Sean Pollock, but he proved himself. And he was humble about proving himself. And he always took his opportunity. Similarly, like you, always took your opportunity. Yet, Ashwell Prince always took his opportunity. Yet, it seems, and it still seems, that you being from a certain class, taking your opportunity is not good enough. And that is so irritating. I just read an article today about how the English cricketers that went to that came here to South Africa on a rebel tour are now CEOs and chairman of selectors, Mike Gatting and all these guys that came here on rebel tours, and now they like still high up in the English cricket board. How? That's not taking us for Nwatas, straight up. Whereas in West Indies, go find those guys. You will know. Where's Lawrence Rowe? You don't know him. Where is he's gone? You don't know. Where's David Murray?
No, for sure. You know, 100%, man. I mean, I don't want to talk for whatever they did. You know, that is personally. I just know that I would probably not think very much of them if I had to meet them, or nothing against them as people, but I'd be civil, but I probably couldn't be in your company for much longer than a couple of 10, 15 minutes, I think. So, but yeah, you're right. I mean, we never, but like I said, that was part of the challenges coming through the system then, Joey, man. It was, people don't understand how difficult it was. So when you, and that's my only thing about like the kids coming through today is, yes, you're given an opportunity, but go and use it now. You know, if things have changed a little bit for you, don't rest on your laurels. There's opportunity with whatever, I don't like the word quotas or whatever, but it was created for you to go show the world how good you are at the end of the day. It wasn't created to give you an opportunity. It was created, go show the world that you can compete and be better than the world's best. Just like Van Niekerk, Wade Van Niekerk is showing. and all these other things. So, ultimately, and that's what we need to keep breeding in these kids, like coming through the system. It's probably like our responsibility as coaches now is to let them know, hey, you're not here to just play. You're here to, show how good you can be.
What I love about you being a coach and what Ash for being a coach is you've come through that. So you're not speaking out of your ass. You're speaking from experience. And that is so key. That is like for the future generation. And I'm glad you guys are coaches because it's a way of giving back. In saying that, who did you identify that can represent South Africa? I know Ashel Prince, he was speaking about, and it's true, Janneman Malan and Peter Malan only got South African caps because of Ashel Prince. That's my belief. Kyle Verreyn, same thing. Zubair Hamza, same thing. It is because SGP pushed him. And I know you have certain guys there as well, like the wicketkeeper. What's his name?
Keshile.
Yeah. Like if he doesn't soon be in, I can for the viewers right now, I will put my head on a block. If he is focused and he shows some sort of commitment, he will be in the South African team sooner than later, and he will probably be wicketkeeper because Quinton de Kock will be a batsman. Other than him, who do you think stand a chance?
I think you just don't know like the development curves of players. It's very difficult to say like how quickly players develop. It's my job to try and get them there as quick as possible. Ultimately, but there is a level of work they need to do at the end of the day. So I mean, there are guys that impress you, Recibo and Guepe. I mean, he's been drifting around the system for a long time, but as a batsman, I would seriously put him into the T20 South African team. Because if you look statistically, he hits more sixes than any other batsman in the country. So are you telling me that you want to not get a six-hitter into your team? A young black batsman, get him in, man. Expose him to that level. You'll see. You encourage him. He'll win you games. Keshile, same.
He reminds me of Woods. He reminds me of Woods.
No, he's good, man.
Okay.
But to be honest with you, we got a lot of players, and if anyone, those players you mentioned under Ashwell's team, if anyone writes a article anywhere in the world, that it's not because of Ashwell Prince providing the platform for these guys, Janneman, Peter, Kyle Verreyn, and them, to be successful at the international level, then that person is to get their heads checked because that guy has gone back them 100%.
Thank you.
Don't come in if they're playing well international level now. Try and claim them because the groundwork starts at franchise level. That's what you're seeing is just all the foundations that are being laid. So ultimately, it's got to. I mean, Janneman got 100 in Bloemfontein in the ODI against Australia. Janneman, if it wasn't for Ashel Prince, he wouldn't be a contract. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. So. And that's where we're talking about ethics also, being ethical as a coach. It didn't matter what the guy's skin color was. He gave the opportunity because the guy's good. And, so at the end of the day.
We're almost done here because our time is running out. In this COVID-19 coronavirus situation, how difficult is it to actually coach, for lack of a better word?
Oh man, it's still preseason, so I guess we're not really that affected by it, but I do get a sense that the players are starting to get itchy now because I think their lives are restricted in winter. Normally they've got freedom to go and play overseas, go travel, maybe go 3-week holiday here, but they're having to be restricted in one spot. So I think that has been challenging for them mentally. But we've been operating. I mean, we've been doing master classes with our players. We got Shah Langeveld to come in, talk to our bowlers. Chico came to speak. We had Keshav Maharaj come to spend an hour with our spinners via Zoom. So we're getting engagement. In fact,
I don't know also. I spoke to Kesh a couple of times, and you had a huge influence on that guy.
No, I can't bowl the ball for Keshav Maharaj. I can't give him work ethic. He's got all those ingredients. and he's a fantastic thinker on the game, you know. So, you know, I just try and provide a platform for support if he needs a bit of support here and there. I don't tell him how to do things. I just wish that I just tell him to be himself, because there's nothing wrong with his bowling. I know he had a lot of people questioning his bowling last summer, but there was nothing wrong with it. The real problem was we were struggling in the batting department, you know, and that's where we needed to probably get a lot more focus.
Dude, if Hashim Amla retires, you're gonna struggle, guy. You're gonna struggle, right,
Definitely.
ladies and gentlemen? That was Robin Peterson. I can actually speak to him for a much longer time, because there's stories that I would have wanted him to speak about against England on tour, bowling against Kevin Peterson, all those things. But the key things was how he spoke about the wonderful place you come from. The people from Galvindale should be proud of what you achieved and the support. Like, where can you go back to the community and still go into the person's house? That's not gonna happen, bro. They're gonna say, this guy's gonna rob me. This guy's robbing me. This guy's robbing me. This guy's robbie Peterson me, Robbie. That doesn't.
No, it's good, man. I was very lucky to grow up there, man. You know, still got all my friends there.
Any parting words?
No, it was great to chat, Joey, man. It was I enjoyed thinking about. It made me think back to when I was a kid again, you know, in Galvin. So it was nice. I definitely can't wait to get to PE. I enjoy spending time there with my friends, man. The people that still live there. So yeah, no, we had a good chat here. I enjoyed it.
Thank you so much, Robin Peterson. It's been an honor. It's been an honor to interview you. As you can hear, ladies and gentlemen, we can go on forever. But our time for that will come when we do the Claude Simon documentary. I'm Joey Rasdien, and I'm out. Don't forget to click subscribe. Don't forget to like the video, and all your comments, please. If you have any comments for Robin Peterson and how much you like him, please comment below. Thank you for watching.
Audio Jungle.